Hello, Mike Duro at Quail Creek Country Club in Naples, Florida. Today we're going to try to help you with the 4 side hill lies. We have the ball downhill lie, we got the uphill lie, we have the ball below our feet, and the ball above our feet. Not a lot of mountains or hills in Florida, but we do have, through the beauty of golf course design, we have a lot of humps. So I'm glad that golf isn't all flat lies. It'd be like a bowling alley. But here we go. Ball below our feet. When the ball's below your feet, you can't get your golf club longer, so to make up for the ball being below, the best way is to tilt from the waist. Okay, so you're going to tilt from the waist. It's going to feel a little top heavy. You're going to feel like you're on your toes, but get yourself balanced. The ball will tend to fade a little bit. And the reason it will, or go right, is because we're going to get in front of it, and the ball will tend to fade, they say. The other reason because of that is I can show you that, look where this yellow thing is aiming, and when I put the ball up like that, it's going to tend to go right, and when the ball's above my feet, it's going to go left. So there, when the hands get up, it goes right. But the tips here, take a few practice swings. Get used to the feeling of being top heavy. You've got to stay down. You don't want to top this ball. When it's really severe, I've heard do this, and it makes good sense. Take the swing and let yourself fall down the hill. It's okay. Because the worst thing to do is let your body stand up. You'll top it almost every time. So you have to stay tilted, hit the shot, and then either find balance or fall down the hill. It's okay, don't fall down, but let your body take that one step down the hill. So no, we don't want you falling down the hill. Okay, the shot where the ball is above your feet. It's one of the easier ones because your club, you can choke up on the club. So the good way to do that is stand normal, put the club out in front of you, and wherever it falls in your hands, that's where you should choke it. So let's say the ball was this high on me. All I would do is stand normal. So I've hit some really good shots when my hands were down on the metal or on the shaft, because then you can take more of a normal swing and hit it. This is a good one for seeing also why the ball goes left when the ball's above your feet. Look at where that pipe, that aimer, is aiming now when the ball is this high above my feet. Imagine if the ball was way up there. That thing's going to go left. Okay, so to prevent that, you got to really keep the club face open. If the ball is below your feet, you can see that thing is going to aim right. But if it's only a couple inches above your feet, just choke up a couple of inches. Know that it's not going to go quite as far. You've lost a little bit of length on the club, so you're going to lose a little bit of distance. So in all side hills and downhills, take extra clubs so you don't swing hard. If you think you have to swing hard, you're going to come out of posture and all that. So take extra club and swing easy. So the ball's above my feet. I'm expected to go a little left. I take that thing off. As far as being forward and back in your stance, you don't have to mess with that very much. Some players might play it a little back in their stance. That'll help them compress down on it again. So I'm not against that, but I would put it pretty much normal. Then the question is, should you allow the ball to hook and go left, or do you fight it a little bit by keeping your hands a little bit more in front? And I would say do some experimenting to see which works better for you. Sometimes it's just better to just take the normal swing and let that ball go a little left and just kind of expect it. Because I've had times where I didn't want it to go left, and then I really tried to keep my hands in front, and then you're not making your normal swing. So make it as normal as possible. Choke up your 2, 3, 4 inches, whatever is necessary. Sometimes you'll get a ball above a bunker and it could be right there. Of course, if it's that far above your feet, your swing has to go a little bit more around because you have to match the level of the hill. Again, you can do that with posture a little bit. So you can choke up on it, and you can also change your posture, because you can see that if the ball's right there, all I have to do is stand up and swing like a baseball. Boom. So that's a good one. So imagine, if you will, a ball sitting that high. Okay? Well, I would swing like this. I'd swing back and through. So that's how I hit that ball being that high. You get some extremes sometimes. That's what makes golf interesting. The uphill lie, pretty much the easiest of the 4 lies because you have a launch angle. So some people just love this shot. It's the one they get in the air the best. The thing to worry about though is that you're going to tend to want to fall down the hill. So the important thing is to get your pivot moving up into your uphill leg. okay, your left side of your lead leg. The ball will go high, so expect it to go about, depending on the lie of the hill, expect your club to have about 10 more degree loft, or 5 or 15 degrees more loft. Some players will actually play the ball back and just hit into the hill and stop, because you've got enough loft already. So there are players that just kind of hit into the hill and stop. But if you're going to take a full swing, the important thing again, lift your uphill leg. So you lift your uphill leg, and that gets your shoulders in line with the hill. And then take a couple practice swings and swing up the hill. So again, move up that hill and hit a shot like this. So you just take it back and swing up the hill. Okay? And if you notice there, it's a little more work to get up that uphill hip, but that's what you want to do, get up into that hip. So work yourself up that hill. The downhill lie, actually, this lie, practicing on it, would help most people swing, because if you can hit down on this ball and get a divot in front of this ball, you have a good swing. You are getting into that shot. So it's actually a good thing to practice. Sometimes I'll take a lifter who's lifting the ball and I'll put him on a downhill lie, and until he can get a divot in front of the ball, he's going to be very discouraged because he's going to keep hitting behind it. But anyway, downhill lie. It's a hard shot because your brain wants to get the ball in the air, so your brain wants to lean back and get it in the air, but then you hit behind it. Okay, so what I'd recommend is take more loft on the club. Try not to hit it hard. Good to have the ball back in your stance a little bit. If you put it in front of your stance, you're never going to get that far down the hill. So play it a little back in your stance, close to your right foot, and then know this. We've got to get you to hit down on that ball, and that means having your hands in front. And to get your hands in front of that ball, you're even de-lofting the club a little more. So let's say if you needed a 7-iron club to get there, I'm going to recommend taking a 9-iron, making it look like a 7-iron, and then try to hit down on it. It'll come out pretty low. The one thing you don't want to think is that you can get the ball in the air. It's an impossibility. If you try to get the ball in the air, your shoulders will try to scoop underneath it, and you will hit behind that ball because there's a hill behind your ball. So if you try to get it in the air, you're going to hit back here. Okay, so you just have to know that you're going to hit a ball probably 5-6 feet high and hit down on it. If it starts climbing because you've used a 9, 8, or a wedge, that's good. It'll get up there. You'll get some loft, but you cannot try to lift it. So move into your downhill leg. Get your hands in front of the ball. Get your nose in front of the ball and try to hit down the hill. You're trying to get grass or a divot in front of the ball. Okay, so I'm going to hit this shot. Okay, ball back in my stance. I'm going to move forward and hit down on it. And here goes. So I've got a wedge here. And there, notice I took that step down the hill. That was natural. I was moving forward. You can also see I got a divot after the ball. So practicing that is really good for your overall swing. You'd be like Gary Player, moving into it every time. Now I'm going to show you a drill that would help 80% of golfers in the world. And that is this. Of course, we got our uphill leg, which means when you lift your uphill leg, your shoulders will go down the hill. Okay, most players, when they have this lie, they tilt the wrong way. They want the ball in the air. Well, if you tilt your shoulders like this, there's a problem. There's a hill back here, and you'll hit it a lot. And of course, if you hit behind the ball, you're going to not like your outcome. So now I'm going to draw a line with my shoe or an imaginary line or a spray paint line. And then what I'm going to try to do is make a divot in front of that line. So I'm going to play the ball back a little bit, pull my uphill leg trick. That puts my shoulders down the hill, ball's back, and I have to come down that hill. I got to make a scratch or a divot in front of that line. Come down that hill. You can see some turf going and hit in front of that line. This will be good for everyone except people that already take a giant divot. If they're already a giant divot taker, their club is already steep. But if they're flat, this is going to help them a lot, because you can't come in flat and make this work. Flat, I mean if the club's behind you, you'll hit behind you every time. So this will help you come down the hill. And here's the shot. So there's the ball. Try to get my shoulders going down the hill, and here it is. Come down the hill and pinch that ball out of there.